Welcome to our talk. Test automation is breaking new ground. I would like to start with an introduction of David Rasmuck, the main presenter of this talk. David is head of testing with Informatics, the IT provider of the Vienna Insurance Group, which is one of the largest insurance companies in the CE region, the CE market, or the largest, I think. Is it the largest? Or
Yeah. Let's see afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah, let's see afterwards. He's head of testing as well as he's chairman of the Workers
Council.
Thank you. So he can't get fired, or it's hard to fire him. So he's very open in his talks, always. So I'm looking forward to this next 30 minutes together with him on the stage.
Thank you, Reinhard. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining. Have a nice afternoon. So this was Reinhard speaking. Reinhard Schüller, working for Obientis as sales manager, and I heard he prepared some questions for me today. I guess this will be hard, but let's see if there is a chance to answer them. And afterwards, if there are some questions from your side are remaining, please post them. So we are ready here for this. So first of all, Reinhard, I would start with Informatics.
Sure. Who is this company? What is this?
Your first question, I can answer it. This is okay. So Informatics, so we are located in Austria. So most of us are located in Vienna, and we also have affiliates in Villach, And we were founded in 2005, so it's almost like 20 years right now. And what we are doing, so we are working as an IT company for insurance companies like Wiener Städtische Versicherung, Donauversicherung. So maybe some of you are from Austria and know this company. And we're providing all the IT services for those. So I always tell the people, so we do the network cables, we're providing the notebooks, and we provide ready big insurance solutions for customers, for our agents. So we do all this big range from the network, from the single notebook, your mobile phone, until the big insurance solution, which is in SAP, in Live Factory, in many other applications. But we can come later on this. We are 500 employees, and we are generating around about 210 million in sales in 2023. And we are part of the Vienna Insurance Group. So maybe you heard about this. So the Vienna Insurance Group, thanks Reinhard, you said always before, is mainly operating in the Central East European region, and we're there one of the, let's call it one of the biggest ones. Don't say the biggest ones, it sounds so impressive. Reinhard, any questions so far, or is it okay for you?
It's okay, fine. Thank you. We're talking about software automation or test automation. So what was the initial situation? How did you start? What did you see when you started in 2006? What happened in the last years? So what's going on? What was the initial situation?
So the thing is, so the management was knocking on the door and said, Mr. Grasmuck, do we have a lot of test automation here? And we're paying every year, thousands of euros and even more of euros. And is it possible to raise efficiency? Is it possible to reduce costs? Is it possible to do there something new? And the question is okay. Let's see. How we can find solutions. So we had. I always tell the people in the beginning. I think you heard in many presentations. So when you do manual testing, this is not really scalable, because you need then thousands of testers, in order to execute a lot of test cases. If you do it frequently, you need even more testers, So many of the people say, okay, if you're doing manual testing, then you're not really scalable, There's a second part, which only sometimes told to you, Even when you're doing test automation, there's also a problem with scalability, and always then, I call it the great filter, always then when it comes to maintenance. So test automation, I tell the people, is not just pressing the button, creating some scripts, and they're then executed for all the times, and all the people are happy that there are results. Test automation is work to be done. And test automation means a lot of maintenance. Yeah? And the more you change your systems, the more you have like new projects, new programs, new whatever, yeah? The more effort you have normally with the maintenance of the test automation. And so the question was, is there something which makes this life easier for us? Yeah? So which avoids maybe this maintenance trap. Yeah? And then we said, okay, another question we had, yeah? You might know if there is a migration project, a technical migration project, most of the people say, your migration project is nice, but you can only do manual testing there. Yeah? So the question was, is that true? Is it true when I have a migration project that only manual testing is possible? So we are also seeking the answer for this question. Yeah? And of course, the management said it has to cost less. So I'm not losing my headset. Yeah. It has to cost less. And how is it even possible to increase the coverage? Yeah? 2 days ago, I had there the word blind dots. Yeah? But I said this is not very fitting. Yeah? So I said no, it's white dots is maybe better. Yeah? So how can we cover all these white dots? Yeah? Is it possible to increase the coverage of test automation? Yeah? There are some applications you might note from your experience, yeah, which are very hard to automate, yeah, because you have problems with capturing these applications. Yeah, you have problems. Maybe they are streamed. Yeah, maybe they are in the cloud, and you have not really access for the testing systems you are using. Yeah, so the question was, is there a way also to increase that? Yeah. So you see a lot of motivations, a lot of questions, and yeah, we found some answers. So we call it the script-based automation versus that we found with driverless. Yeah? So let's start with the script-based automation. Yeah? I guess most of you know we do that since the early 80s, the 90s. Yeah? So we have a test tool. You can choose your name. Yeah? You name it. There are a lot of them. Yeah? But basically, at the core, you have some kind of code. Some call it now low code. Some call it like no code. Some call it like a many of codes. Yeah? So it depends. Yeah? But the thing is, you have code. Yeah? And you maybe have a look on the picture. I guess the picture is here?
Yes.
Yes, this is here. Wonderful. And you see a lot of code lines. Yeah? And you see, yeah, all these things have to be implemented. Yeah? And the thing is, if your script is running, if your test automation cases are running, and there is some change, most of the time you need to do this once again. Yeah? You have to adapt the test cases. And the more you change the system, the more you have to adapt. Yeah? So the basis was like many code times and many effort with the maintenance. So, and then we had a look around on the market and said, okay, what is maybe possible beyond this? Yeah? And then, yeah, we were coming to driverless. Yeah? So this is now the bridge to Obientis. Yeah? And in the next, I would like to introduce to you the driverless principle, yeah? Which is a little bit different. Yeah? But the nice thing, it is very easy to understand because it acts like as we are as human beings are doing. Yeah? So you don't need to install anything. You don't need to get into the system. Yeah? Let's call it, you get what you see on the screen. Yeah? So we started in 2021 with driverless on the box. Yeah? It is really a small physical box. Yeah? And you put it to your system. You just connect it with the video signal, with the HDMI, yeah? Or with the display port. And the second connection is the USB, the keyboard and the mouse commands. Yeah? So you connect this with the box, and the box is interpreting the screen and executing the procedures, the test procedures, as we as human beings are doing. Yeah? So you train the driverless on this, what you're on the screen. Yeah? So you have an application, you show the application to driverless, and the driverless is learning your application. Yeah? The more you show, the better it runs. Yeah? So you have then a model, an internal model for your company, or can even choose a public model, it depends on you. And this then is using all the knowledge you have about your buttons, your screens, your input fields, your radio buttons, all this stuff. Yeah? So driverless is recognizing that and putting then data in or taking data out, yeah, in order to verify something. Yeah? So the thing is, It doesn't matter if it's SAP, if it's Unix, if it's C#, if it's .NET, if it's Java, it doesn't matter. Yeah? So, and to be honest, maybe you heard some of your colleagues in test automation, are they always talking about what kind of business context can we put into the test case? Or are they talking about normally about, oh my God, how can I capture this field? I have no access to it. Yeah? So most of the time, yeah, in the traditional test automation, we spend the effort on how can we get into the system and how can we get to steer the system. Yeah? In this case for travelers, for us it doesn't matter what it is. Yeah? If it's Unix, if it's Windows, if it's Apple, if it's Chrome, if it's Firefox, you only get what you see on the screen, yeah, and it's steering all those things. Yeah, think of some streaming applications. Yeah, for test automation, it was quite impossible to do that. Yeah, with this driverless procedure, it's just something else you see on the screen. Yeah, and as long as you can see it on the screen, you can steer it. Yeah? And it's always funny that I talk about seeing on the screen. Yeah, but some other questions for me?
Yeah, sure.
I guess we have it because otherwise the 40 minutes will be corrupted. Yeah?
No, so we heard about the old way, the new way. Did you have to change anything? Not only technology, meaning, for example, the way you work or the organization behind that.
Yeah, let's call it that way. We had the chance to change something, yeah? Because I guess you know it. If you do the test automation, you normally have it in a specialized team. Yeah. Or some organizations say, no, we're agile. We have it in all our dev teams. Yeah? For us, yes, we said it, but it's not that true. Yeah? So we had some test automation specialists in the teams, but it was not in each team. Yeah? So there were some teams, they were providing services for the other team. Yeah? So we had not really everywhere a test automation specialist. Yeah? So now, with driverless and these seamless possibilities, so it's much easier to get into those teams, yeah? Because the people now really start to think about the test case need, the test case requirements, and which is really necessary to test. Yeah? So the people in dev teams, they really start now doing integration test cases and system test cases. Yeah? Before we had, test is not the most loveliest topic ever. Yeah? But if someone was doing it, yeah, they were writing some unit test cases, developer test cases, and so on. Yeah, but if you ask them like for an integration test and a system test, what? No, we haven't that. Yeah? So, and now with driverless, yeah, we have first time in our company, in our organization, the chance that the people are really thinking about what is beyond the unit testing. Yeah? And we also have the chance, because of this comprehensive matter you do testing, yeah? Because you really can tell the people, just you get what you see on the screen. You can tell driverless, please open this window, please input this text, please verify. Yeah? So it's like natural language, and so this is also then the possibility to go with this to your business departments. Yeah? So we started going also to the business departments because for them, this was, like I said before, this was like a black box, the test automation. Yeah? So sometimes you had some business cracks. Yeah? They were also doing like Selenium test cases and had a look into it. Yeah? But most of the people said, what's that? Yeah? And now they have the chance to really have a look on test automation because they understand all the test cases. They see what's happened. Yeah? They see like open the window, open the tab, input this, output this. Yeah? So it's like natural language, and they have the chance to understand it. Yeah? So the transfer of knowledge, yeah, is much easier with this procedure than it was before. Yeah? Yeah, so this was your questions to the organization. Yeah.
Good answer, thank you for that. What's really important now is maybe to understand what did you achieve over the last 3 years. You're using driverless since 2021, and what's your experience?
Yeah, let me tell something about the technology as well. Yeah, because it's very interesting. I told you before we have still two different types of this driverless. Yeah, so there is this physical box. Yeah. You go into the room, you put it there on the desk, yeah, you tell them, so we can execute the test cases, yeah? And the people always say, huh? How is this possible? Yeah? And then you tell them, You just connect it, yeah, and it understands what it sees. Yeah? So we use the physical box for demonstrations. Yeah? We do a lot of internal demonstrations because we go to the people and say, okay, there's another tool. Yeah? So the first reactions normally is, thanks, Mr. Krasmuk, another tool. We still have 16, now we have 17. Thank you very much. What is the specialty? And then we said, okay, have a look on this. Yeah? So we just connect it with the box, yeah? And then you have the chance to do the testing like a human being. Yeah? You train it, you tell it what to do in natural language, and you can really have it just on this box. Yeah? No installation, no setup, no configuration, nothing. Yeah? So we use it for demonstration, because we have seen if we show the people just a server or a cloud instance, so the people say like, yeah, nice, but I have seen today 10 other applications in the cloud, and what's so special on that? Yeah? So we use it for these demonstrations, but we don't use it in operating mode, yeah? Because, as I said before, it's not very scalable. Yeah? First of all, I thought to my team, let's buy 10 of these boxes, yeah? And then have fun running around. Yeah? Go to the boxes and check everyone. Yeah? And my team said to me, David, hello, this is no sports exhibition here. Yeah? We just want to test, yeah? Not to go from box to box. Yeah? And then we said, okay, yeah, guess we need something other. Yeah? And in 2021, there was only this box. And then we came to Opientis and said, my dears, the box is very nice, impressive, yeah, but the future of scaling is not the box. Yeah? And the people said, okay, yeah, we need something different. Yeah? And then we started implementing a client-server solution. So now we have driverless installed on 40 virtual desktop instances. Yeah? So we're running several hundred of these test cases every night, and most of them every week as well. And therefore, we need some kind of a scalability test environment. Yeah? So we created then together also a client-server solution. And meanwhile, I heard from Opientis there is also a cloud solution existing. Yeah? But we use it on premises in True Informatics. So we have this box. We have this box for the impressive presentations. So all the people say, wow, okay, something different. But in operating mode, we use the client-server architecture, as I said before here. Yeah? So what we're doing with this right now, so most of the time we use it for end-to-end tests, yeah, because as I said before, it doesn't matter which system you have. So that means you can go end-to-end very easily from one system to the other, and the next, and the next, and the next, yeah, because for driverless, it doesn't matter what it is. Yeah? So we use it for end-to-end UI test cases. We use it for technical migration tests. I said before, yeah, is there an answer to this question? Yes, because if I have my application today as a .NET or a VB6 or something old, yeah, and I put it now into a Java version, and I stay with the business context, then I can use driverless as I used it before, because the test cases are not referencing on the technical IDs, on the technical code base, as I said before. They're referencing on the business context. Yeah, so you can choose at first system A, and then you can put it to system B, and you can run the test cases once again. Yeah? So this was one of our big advantages that we have seen there. Yeah, and we use it also for some quick tests, so that we have new applications, because it's very fast to implement new test cases there, and therefore we also use it for quick tests. Yeah? Reinhard, sorry, much information here.
Fine. The achievements would be interested. So in terms of numbers, in what are you doing better now? What happened? Yeah?
I tried to break it a little bit down, yeah. So because as you know, when you're using test automation, it's all about so what's the effort of implementing new test cases? What's the effort in maintaining the test cases? And what's the effort if you really execute it? Yeah? So we have learned, so when you implement new test cases, then we really have a big reduction when it comes to legacy systems which were not in scope of our other traditional tools. Yeah? So there we had really reduction rates up to 30–40%. Yeah? But in contrary, we are using also SAP, and we have for yeah, you can name it Selenium, Playwright, Tosca, so that nobody is offended here. Yeah, we had some of those test cases which are like templates. So if you're having an application and you have already a lot of templates, so then the reduction rate was not that high. So we achieved like maybe 2, 3, 5%. Yeah. So we have seen over the last 3 years that in average we have for the implementation of new test cases, we are up to 15%. So in average. Yeah. It's a completely different picture when it comes to the maintenance. Yeah? As I said you before, how to avoid the maintenance trap. Yeah? This makes it with driverless for us much easier because when we have test cases which are running, and yeah, oh my dear, we have a lot. We have, thank you. So, better? Yeah. So we have a lot of applications running. It's okay. So, yeah, thanks. We have a lot of applications running in our systems, and we had a lot of changes. So we do like sometimes 3 to 4 changes by week. So we had tremendous efforts with the maintenance of the test cases. And there we have really seen, until in the first 3 years, up to 30% reduction, because for driverless, as you said before, if you change a technical identifier, or if you change the program language, or if you change the operating system, doesn't matter. Yeah? So there we have really seen large potential for reduction of costs. Yeah? Something different when it comes to the execution of test cases. Over the last years we have seen there no effect. Yeah? So it was even sometimes slower in performing the test cases, because what driverless has to do, of course, it has to recognize the pictures, yeah? It has to annotate if there's something new. It has to go all the displays. So that makes it a little bit slower than some other tools. So this makes, if you have like 10, 20 test cases, you can ask me, right, doesn't matter for me. So if it's now like 1 minute or 1.5 minutes, for this number of test cases, it makes no difference. Yeah? But we are using in our regression test set in total like 25,000 test cases that we are using in different tools, and also in driverless we have now like 300, and end of this year up to already almost 1,000 test cases, and then it makes a difference, because you need you have, I guess so the testing windows for executions are not the biggest ones. Yeah? If it's in your company the other way, please tell me. It would be something new for me. Yeah? But normally you have not much time. Yeah? So if you have a lot of test cases which have to be executed, the performance is also something you need to have a look on. Yeah? And the performance we have a look on with Obientis. I guess product manager management is here. Yeah? Greetings from my side. Maybe it has to be a little bit faster. Yeah? What we have seen is it is really a good thing that you can have now the test cases in the natural language, as I told you before. Yeah, it's easier for the people to understand. It's easier for the people to write it. Yeah, so the first time you can go with test automation to your business departments and tell them, any other test cases? Do you want to create some? Yeah, because it's very easy. Yeah. Yeah, what we've also seen, and this was a little bit of a surprise. Yeah. When you do this recognition of images, then you have, of course, you have these buttons, and you have this input fields and these radio buttons. Yeah? And first, when we started with driverless, we said, oh my God, is it really possible to recognize our input fields? So we have some really funny applications, 20 years old, and they have a style of input fields. I guess you don't want to see it. Yeah? It's my advantage, I don't see it. And the thing is, we said, is it really possible for driverless to recognize it? Yes, it was possible. Yeah? So we said that if you train the application, it's very easy to recognize it. But there was something different, very funny thing. Yeah? I guess you know OCR, yeah? The optical character recognition. This is something we have like since 40 years, 50 years, something like that. Yeah? And for this OCR, because you also have to find out what is written there, and you have to verify something. And at the beginning, we really had some problems with the OCR accuracy. Yeah? So we would never have expected that, because this is a very old technology, which is normally operating very well, and accurate. Yeah? But in this case, but we had sometimes problems with this character recognition. Yeah. Meanwhile, also this is now accurately operating, but this was very funny for us, but we never expected that. Yeah, yeah, and greetings to the product management. We would really love to have some load balancing there in driverless, because as I said before, if we then have like 1,000 test cases, I don't want to use external workarounds anymore. Yeah, I guess the message has dropped here. Yeah. Reinhard, thanks.
Thank you.
Some other questions?
Yes, sure. Look back. What's the future bringing? What's the next step for you?
Yeah, when we have a look into the future, of course, maybe you have been also to Opiantis in the booth and have seen some of these things they're presenting there. There is an additional component which is called ideation. So it's about the creation of test cases out of requirements, screenshots, documentation, whatever. Yeah. The thing is, you don't just get out the test case description. Yeah. The thing is, in this case, you get out the test case, which is then executable in driverless test automation. Yeah? So we want to put more focus on that because I guess you know all the things with requirements and specifications. It's not always the easiest thing in such big companies as we are. Yeah? And therefore, we hope to have some also benefits out of using some supportive way to have those test cases, automated test cases then, which are executable in driverless. Yeah? So we want to focus more on that. Yeah? We want to stress more, in German we call it die Antragsstrecke. So this is a big thing our customers are using. Yeah? This is a very, very long process, yeah, which is really end-to-end. Yeah? It goes from I'm logging into the system until there's printed a policy, yeah, and sent to you digitally or sent to you via mail. Yeah? So insurance companies, we still have mails, and we send it to the people. And we hope that there's always the right things are written, because otherwise it would not be that good for us. Yeah? So this is a big, big process. Yeah? And we want to have this automated because there are many, many systems inbound. And we want to use driverless for all these test cases we have there. Yeah? And we also want to go further with these multi-platform test cases because we do them, a lot of them manually. Yeah? I told you before what is about manually is not so good, yeah? As you know. And we want also to assist our brokers, our agents, yeah, with those test cases because there is pretty much effort now lying on these people here. Yeah? We also want to go even more scalability. We want to go in the legacy systems because I told you before about the coverage. Yeah. So where are the white, not the blind dots? Yeah. This coverage in the legacy system is very important because we have, you have to imagine, we have like almost 300 different systems, yeah, which are working more or less together. Yeah. And we want to take care of the less from the more. Yeah. And this means we want to raise the coverage, and we also want to have test automation in these places because these legacy systems are our white dots, yeah, most of them. Yeah, so to sum up, yeah, we found this driverless procedure, I would call it that way, because we have seen that there is a lot of potential if you can go also with your business customers, if you can go with your development teams, and if you don't have to struggle with the technical preconditions, yeah, like which program language, which operating system, yeah, you can really go in the system and you can focus on the thing we are doing here, like testing, yeah, so finding the right test cases, finding the right test executions, and with driverless we have learned that we can put more focus on that, yeah, to sum this a little bit up. Reinhard, any questions?
Yeah, I don't have any questions, but maybe you have some questions. Yeah, the first one coming up. Do you need the mic?
Thank you very much. Sorry if I missed some details at the beginning. What I understood is that there's a magic box. You connect this box to your application, and the next magic happens. There are thousands of test cases. They are very
Yes,
useful
so,
and efficient.
so the thousands of test cases, they're not in the box, as I said before. So we are right now using a client-server solution, yeah, where all these test cases are stored. But the magic, as you said, is happening in the box if you want that way. Yeah? So you just connect the box to the video signal, so to the optical display or the HDMI, yeah? And you connect it with the USB because you have to send back some keyboard and mouse commands. Yeah? And the whole test automation is just working like human beings. You see on the screen, yeah, and you interact with those things you see. You don't interact with the system itself, with the code. You just interact with these things which are seen on the screen. Yeah? And this makes it very easy to understand, because the people do not struggle anymore with how to implement the test automation, how to steer this control, how to steer this box or whatever. Yeah? So you can really focus then on the business context and the test case context you want to achieve. Yeah? So it is completely outside of the technical constraints, yeah, if you want it that way.
Thank you very much. So the first question is already answered. It's not a simple capture and replay, but it is an application that checks the system under test.
Yeah.
The box is the application, or the application is in the box that checks the system under test and generates test cases.
So it's no capture replay at all, yeah, because you always see it. The time you execute it, yeah, you really check and recognize the things which are on the screen. Yeah, it's not just like capture and replay. It's think for instance, yeah, make a simple example. Yeah, so you have a field, yeah, which is named like birth date, or choose whatever you want. Yeah, and this field, because our developers, they're funny today, yeah, and they put it from the left upper side to the right bottom side. Yeah? And they said, and we want to amend this field. Now it's not just a simple input field, it's now an intelligent input field which pre-selects the date. So, and in the normal test automation, in most cases, this test case is not working anymore because the technical ID has changed. So you have to go to this field, you have to adapt it, and then you can rerun the test case. For driverless, it just looks for, where's the field birth date? I can find it. Okay, it's on a different place, but I can find the birth date and I use it, and the test case is still running. Yeah? So that means less maintenance, because you do not have to interact with this technical code base. Yeah?
And does it apply any kind of test case design, or some insurance business specific scenarios how the test cases are generated?
It depends. Yeah. So the more you train your model, yeah, this is model based, the more you knows from your business and from your application context. Yeah. So you really have to train it. Yeah. And then it recognizes, oh, this is typical Trinformatics stuff. Yeah. I know how your input fields look like. I know all your buttons. Yeah. So you really have to train it. Yeah. And the design is in two different ways. You can simply put some blocks together. Yeah, it's like so a block language. Yeah, or you can even use natural language. Yeah, you can really say, okay, open the application, go to the tab, input this data, verify whatever. Yeah. So this is the thing what makes it so easy for the business departments, because the first time they understand the test cases. Yeah, so they don't have to read the code.
You mentioned there are thousands of test cases. Is there any prioritization, or every time all the test cases have to be?
No, we have some different test types we're using. So I meant this before with the load balancing. So for now we don't have it in driverless, but we use some external workarounds for this. Yeah, we have some different test types. Yeah, we have quick tests, we have some whole regression tests. So it depends on the test objectives. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Hi. My name is Samer. Thank you for the insightful presentation. As I understood, like, your tool or method doesn't care about the technical changes or non-functional changes, right? It still keep working. But what about the functional changes? Let's say I'm a developer. I have a task to change some functional requirements in the application. How easy it is for me to change the test cases then? Should I replay, use everything from the beginning, how can I do this quickly? Focusing on this.
So most of the time you have the test case described in these blocks, as I said before, or in the natural language. Yeah. So in your example, you change for instance, the order of the blocks. Yeah. Or you change the sentences. Yeah. You put the last sentence in front and the sentence before on the last. Yeah. This is very easy. Where we have to adopt something is if you have, like, imagine you have 3 screens. Yeah. And the birth date is at the beginning at the first screen, yeah, and tomorrow the birth date is on the 3rd screen, yeah. Then, not yet. Yeah. I was promised the next version will maybe also do that. Yeah. So the birth date is not found now on the 3rd screen automatically. Yeah. So we have to also go then to the test case of driverless and put the block from the birth date, which is on the 1st screen, put it to the 3rd screen. Yeah. But you don't have to interact with any technical base, yeah? No code, but you have maybe to change the business context from the 1st screen to the last one. Yeah? So these things you have to do. Yeah? But this is very easily. Yeah?
So can I, like, if I have like a Git repository and changing code, can I also change this in the test cases? Like, are the test cases also kind of code or
The test cases are interpreted for the execution in a kind of code, yes, and you can also, of course, have this stored in the GitLab or something like that. Yeah, we don't use it in that way. We just use it really in driverless, where we have the test cases stored as this natural language repository or this block repository. Yeah, so we have not yet it connected with this CI/CD pipeline and this GitLab, for instance, but the code which is then sent to the USB device, yeah, for mouse, and keyboard commands. Yeah? So you can also store this in GitLab, of course. Yeah? But we are not doing that at Twinformatics. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
When you're interested, we can show you today or tomorrow in our booth that you can see it live how this looks like.
Absolutely, I will come. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Martin, and I'm interested in the modularization because in conventional test automation tools you combat the maintenance trap doing very good modularization. How is this in your tool?
Yeah, we also use it, for instance. So when you think of no commercial, yeah, Tosca, for instance, so then you have, as you said, you have these templates and you have these libraries where you put all these. Yeah, but we also learned for this. Nevertheless, if something is in the identifiers changing, you also have to do the change in the template. Yeah? So you're not freed of having no maintenance because of code changes. It's maybe a little bit easier, yeah, if you have a good structured module structure, as you said before. Yeah? But you have this maintenance still to do. Yeah? And for driverless, we have encountered that these changes are much reduced to all the changes we had before, even when it's structured like modules and templates and so stuff like this. Yeah. Question answered?
Yeah, thank you.
Many UI automation test frameworks suffer a bit from timeouts because elements might be lazy loading and so. How does your solution deal with that?
You can tell, so if you encounter that your tool is again much faster than the application under test, yeah, which might happen, yeah, you can just tell the system, and here, driverless, please wait for 20 seconds, 10 seconds. Yeah?
So
you just have
verbally in the text
yeah,
case, test
yeah.
case, wait
Just have to write there in a sentence. Yeah?
Also wait for appearance.
Wait for appearance. Wait, just wait.
Last question? Oh, yes.
David.
Yeah.
Zugabe.
So
You mentioned you had some backups.
I mean, once again, the whole presentation in 3 minutes is challenging. Yeah. So I would just then say, like, yeah, we should maybe use driverless for this. Yeah. Maybe there's a chance to do it in 3 minutes. Yeah. Because it's less work to do and less efforts with maintenance. So thanks. Thank you very much. Thank you.
If you're interested in more, we're having a